everyone, welcome to the Fin Factor Live Edition. And can anybody find me somebody to love? Freddie? No?
Nice.
Nothing? Really?
Nice.
It's good. They're laughing. Somebody's laughing. I'm laughing inside. Anyway, this is the pre-shoot live for episode number 62, I believe, right?
Yes.
Yeah, 62. So we'll be shooting that episode after we're done here, taking your comments and questions. It has been a rough, horrible, terrible, not so great of a showing of a week, of a month, it's just been bad.
Going back to our last episode, I was expecting 2 wins. I was hoping for 3.
Yeah.
Obviously, to right the ship, and they went the complete opposite direction. So they dig themselves a bigger and bigger and bigger hole to get out of.
Yes, they do.
Yep.
It's again, what was the second game? We lost 3-2. That was so close.
The best game that they played all season. Hellebuck stood on his head.
There you go. Winnipeg.
That's 6'5" of the dude. He's enormous.
Yeah,
But
and
that should have been a win.
they didn't give up. They were going the whole game. They were dominating the whole game. A funny stat though, when they said that when the Sharks put on 50-something plus shots on goal, they still lose.
0-4.
Yeah,
something
so
like that?
it's not about the quantity of shots; it's about the quality of shots. They're just pounding the net. That's not necessarily a good scoring chance. Although Hellebuck was playing phenomenally that night, so
right.
it's just a recipe for disaster.
It's just, and I feel like that carried over to the next night against Vancouver because they were so kind of, I don't know what the word is, like just disheveled. Like, wow, we just played our best game and we still didn't get the win. You know what I mean?
Ooh. Like
their confidence has just gotten lower and lower and lower every time they lose.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't hear anything you said after you used the word disheveled. That's some Dan Rusanowski stuff right there.
Thanks, really.
Well done, buddy.
All right.
Anyway, okay. So do we have a comment or a question?
We got lots of comments here.
Oh, boy.
We'll start at the top. Angela Nunez, before we went live, asked this question. Is it me or does Vlasic look a few steps slow? Could it be the team as a whole is sick with something on top of the fatigue I see? No, I mean, I think the fatigue is definitely a factor because they just played a brutal road trip. That last Tuesday, was it? They played Boston or Monday? Tuesday. That was the very end of their 7-game road trip or something. It was really long. Yeah. They played a lot of games in not very many nights. So I think that was fatigue for sure in that game. Winnipeg, they looked fresh. They looked good. They were all over the Jets. Yeah. And again, like I said earlier, they should have won that game, and Hellebuck kind of stole it. But I think the next night against Vancouver, maybe a little bit of fatigue, but I think more fatigue or more about the less fatigue and more about just their confidence is gone.
Yeah.
Absolutely shot.
Yeah, no, I think this team is just not playing with any confidence. I think if there was a problem like a flu bug or something like that, you'd probably hear them say that and explicitly say it's not an excuse. But yeah, we've got some guys that are dealing with some issues right now. And,
I also think you'd see some guys out of the lineup like one night, like just because they have the flu and it takes a lot out of those guys. So.
And they are rotating, like Radil came in the other night.
Yeah.
For whoever else.
Brzezinski got hurt.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, okay, that's an injury thing, right?
Right.
So yeah, but what you would have seen is maybe even if it was like a bottom guy that was getting shuffled in and out, that's normal. But all of the the top guns for the Sharks are in and they're playing. I think if there was, like you said, a guy might have stepped out for a game or so, try to get himself healthy. But there's no flu or anything going around. They're just playing poorly right now. That's really all that comes down to it. And I mean, the thing that is promising to me still is that they are playing poorly for the caliber of the inventory, if you will, that we have on this team. This team can play a much better game than what we've seen, and that's the thing that for me is the encouraging part. If you can ever get them back to playing the way that we know they can play, then this will be them playing poorly, right? And that gets shoved to the side. For a team like Ottawa who beat us, right? But for a team like Ottawa who night in, night out does play rather poor, that's just how good they are. You're not going to get much better than that, right? What you're seeing out of the Sharks, there's a whole lot more to give. It's just a matter of when are they going to give it, right? So there's still some optimism to pull from this just because they are playing so much worse than what we're used to. So anyway.
Next question. Do you see Schimmick replacing Heed in the lineup when he returns? Seems Ferraro has been doing his job to keep his spot in the lineup. let's talk about Ferraro first.
Yeah.
I think Ferraro looks amazing every night. I'm kind of waiting for that shoe to fall off, right? Like not that he's going to be terrible, but he's going to make some rookie mistakes, and also fatigue is going to be a big factor because he's never played 82 games in his life in one season. It's probably, I think, at the college level, I want to say it's 40 or 50. I don't think it's even 60, which AHL is about 60 something games. So it's a lot for a young guy to step in and be able to play that many games in that many nights, because the NHL is a grueling schedule compared to other leagues. But so far he's looked like he belongs, and more importantly, he's gotten Pete DeBoer's trust, so he's getting more minutes, definitely more minutes than Heed. I mean, it's usually double every night. Like, in fact, let me see if his...
While you're looking that up, it's reminiscent of when Marc-Edouard Vlasic stepped into the league, right? Daryl Sutter kind of gives him this vote of confidence, says, no, he's a guy that's able to play. He's young. He's a rookie. That's fine. We're going to play him. Obviously, two very different play styles, but, it seems like Ferraro has the trust of Pete DeBoer to go out there and play. We saw him playing alongside of Brent Burns. That's no easy feat, right? I mean, he's the wild man that's out there. He's the guy it's questionable what he's going to be doing at any point in time, and you've got Ferraro gets an opportunity to play right alongside him. So a lot of trust from Pete DeBoer. And, I know Aaron was saying, it's one of those things where, after a while the rookie might kind of slow himself down. And in the beginning of the season, I was saying, he looks good. He looks like he can stick around. We'll see how it goes. I think we're still in that period, just like we've been saying, wait for that 20 game mark or so to really kind of judge the team and see where they're going. I mean, if they get like a 5-game win streak, everything turns back around, right?
Winning cures all.
Exactly. All of a sudden, this team's on the right path. The "what have you done for me lately" is win, and they're doing all the right things. It calms the fan base down, right? So, I don't know. I just think that it's great for Ferraro to be in there, stepping in, doing a really good job. He's got the trust of Pete DeBoer, which is awesome. Does Šimić step back in? Yeah, I think he does. Which is kind of strange because then you've got the offhand. Again, going on the other side, the right wing with the left-handed Ferraro. So it'll be a little awkward there. But you know what? When he's your best chance, he's your best option to go with. I think, especially if you have the trust of Pete DeBoer, he plays him. So I think Tim Heed's days, again, are probably numbered in San Jose. I don't think it's a problem, though. I think it's a good thing for him. I think it's a good thing for the team. We'll see if it happens. I'm not saying it's going to happen. Again, on this show, we don't really say, well, this is what needs to happen or this is what's going to happen. We kind of give an idea of what might happen and kind of explain why it makes sense. And, if you guys, agree or don't agree, that's totally cool too. But we're not here to make like full-blown predictions. We're just kind of helping you guys understand what does and doesn't make sense. And to me, a trade with Tim Heed involved makes a whole lot of sense.
Ferraro's averaging 15.5 minutes a night, which is pretty good
for a rookie. Yeah, that's good.
Where was I think he just toast, but we're keeping around for the draft for the new team. Now that's still another year away, so no. Confidence is lacking right now, Anthony Sanchez. Correct.
And Heed's on a 1-year contract anyway, so he's done after this season.
That's what I mean, and the draft is the following season after next year. I can predict your live comments tonight. Some version of fired DeBoer, Jones is bad, get rid of Carlson and Dillon, bring Pavs and Braun back. That's
and
from Nicholas Egan.
End of show. Wrap.
Bobrovsky. Trade for Bobrovsky. Right.
Yeah.
Do you guys? Okay. From Noah Claxton. Do you guys think a trade needs to happen? If so, for who and who would be shipped out? I think one of two things. I definitely think Pete DeBoer is in the hot seat at this point because there's so much talent on the team and they're just not putting it together. To me, that means the message in the locker room is not really getting through, or the players are just kind of tired of hearing it. I'm not necessarily agreeing with that, and I don't know if we would all have any behind-the-scenes stuff, so we don't know for sure. But I think either there's going to be some kind of trade to shake things up, and I don't think it'll be a major one. It's not going to be like a Joe Thornton coming in or something big like that. But and no, Carlson won't be traded and be gone either. But I wouldn't be surprised if somebody gets traded to kind of shake things up, and if that still doesn't work, then I think DeBoer will be gone. And I think they won't make that decision until, I'd say, after Thanksgiving. Because they want to kind of, if they get a new coach, they'd want to salvage the season or have a chance to salvage the season.
I mean, maybe, yeah. I have a hard time saying that DeBoer. I mean, he's probably hearing it right now like crazy.
Right.
But didn't they just sign him to an extension, or was that last season?
I think they signed it the beginning of last season. I think it was they signed a 4-year extension. It started this year. I think.
I have a hard time believing that he's going to get let go at the very first year of his extension on a 4-year extension. I just have a hard time with that. I don't think that he's going to be gone just for that reason alone. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see that shaking out that way. Without that in place, I would say absolutely, we look at the coaching and see if they can't turn this around. If they can't, then sure, unload. But given that they just went through that, I think Doug Wilson knows that he kind of handcuffed Pete DeBoer a little bit here by taking away 3 starting right wingers, your top 9 wingers out of the group, right? I think he's fully aware of that. So I think he knows that Pete DeBoer has only so much he can do, and that he's doing much more teaching than he has in past. Now, they pulled Marlowe in, so there's only 1 or 2 guys that really need to be taught and learn the system.
I don't think they did that without. I think Pete DeBoer was in on those discussions early on.
Sure.
I'm sure Doug was like, okay, here's kind of the plan of what we're going for.
Sure.
Here's the budget of what we have or left over in terms of cap space after we make some of these signings. So I don't think it was like a complete Pete DeBoer had no idea until training camp started.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying he didn't know about it, but I am saying that if you know, you go up to Pete and you say, look, this is what we can do.
Yeah.
I think that discussion includes, I understand that it's going to be some, very painful. You're going to have some growing pains here, getting these kids up to par. So maybe that leash is a little bit, not quite so short. Maybe there's a little bit of slack there.
Yeah.
Right. Because he knows that he's given him, a lesser roster, a not so deep roster as he had with guys that not even just coming from other teams who are NHLers, but they're coming into the league and they need to be taught. So I don't know. I don't think Pete DeBoer is really on the hot seat as much as most people think that he is. But hey, we'll see. Again, this is just my opinion. I'm not stating any facts here. We're not behind the scenes at all.
Right.
So we'll just see how it shakes out.
Thank you, Christopher Lindsay, for the $10.
Whoa!
Knowing that Montreal scouts and assistant GM have been at Sharks games frequently since the preseason, what type of trade do you envision, or who do you think they might be interested in? Go Sharks!
There was a lot of speculation about Marc-Edouard Vlasic, and even for me too, simply because it was Montreal, and of course, the French-Canadian thing and everything, right? So. Yeah. But it sounds like he just never wanted to even play there in the first place, right?
That was years ago, though. He made that comment that he never wanted to, or not that he never wanted to play there, but he didn't want to. But things change, people change.
Sure.
He is from there, so I wouldn't be surprised if he would be open to the trade. Montreal's got a decent team. They're not really great, but if they added Vlasic, I think they could get into the playoffs and do some damage, especially with him in front of Carey Price, right?
Right.
So that would bolster them because they're not, their defense is known for not being strong because they spent so much money on a goalie.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. On the forwards though, because you're saying they'd be a good playoff
back,
team
right?
if Vlasic were playing. Exactly. So if they were to unload one of their wingers, which is basically what we need, like a right wing. Pick one. But if they were to unload one of those guys, would they still be in contention? Would that mean that trade isn't worthwhile for them?
Well,
right?
I think they would change their strategy of being a more defensive team, because they'd be getting rid of one of their scorers. But here's their top scorers: Brendan Gallagher, who I would love to have, the goal scorer, right? Drouin, who's always has all this hype, but has never quite made it. He started in Tampa Bay, with very high pick. Thomas Tatar, who was in Detroit for a long time. Tatar. Max Domi, he came in from Arizona, and Ty Domi's son, by the way. I just, Nick Suzuki's a young guy. Kotkaniemi was their first-round pick last season, and he played. They didn't think he was going to make the team, and he did. So he's only 19, 20 years old. So they have a lot of very young core guys that I think in Montreal's plan, they had kind of a longer-term plan, and the kids started playing better than they thought, and so their window's kind of opening, and so I think that's why they want to solidify it. So they probably won't be trading any of those young guys.
Yeah.
It'll probably be maybe Tatar, one of those older ones, Who knows?
It's hard to say. Yeah, I kind of have a feeling if they're not going to unload one of their their prime talents for like a Vlasic, right? Then they're probably not looking at him. They're probably looking at somebody like hoping for like a Brendan Dillon maybe, or even like a Shimmick. If he were to come back in and start playing well again, they could potentially want to reach out and grab that guy as well. But I'm not really sure exactly what they're looking for, if a left-hand shot or a right-hand shot or whatever it is that they need.
The rumor was left-handed.
Okay, so that leaves a few guys open. Shimmick's not back yet, and who knows how he's gonna play if he comes back and he plays anywhere near as effectively as he did when he was playing with us last season alongside Brent Burns. Then I think we'd want to keep him around.
Interesting. So. Montreal's got $7.7 million in cap space, and how much is Vlasic's salary?
Oh boy,
7.
Yep.
So it could even just be for a draft pick.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that I'd want just a draft pick. That doesn't make any sense.
They have their first-round draft pick.
That's great, but I wouldn't want to take just a first-round draft pick for Marc-Edouard Vlasic in the middle of the season, right?
Just
if what
saying,
we're doing is we're unloading.
They could be setting up for a trade later if the Sharks are not going to make playoffs and they're going to want a first-round pick.
So that's it right there, what you just said. If the Sharks don't make playoffs, then yes, absolutely, ship off whoever you want and get whatever you can in return. I'm cool with that. But if you're right now sitting in the beginning of November and you're going to trade Marc-Edouard Vlasic away, you're going to get somebody who's going to help your team right now because you're not out of the playoff race yet. Again, a 5-game winning streak puts this team right back on track to be closer to 500. And then from there, there's that momentum. There's that confidence, right? And if they're playing that way, that means they're doing something right. There's nothing saying they're not going to continue to play that way. So that's what I think they'd be trading for. If they're going to unload somebody like a Vlasic, a core piece of the defense for the San Jose Sharks, you're going to get a goal-scoring winger coming back the other way who's, higher up the food chain than just some sort of a depth guy. Now, if you trade out, a Dillon or a Shimmick, maybe not so much, but
I would hope for if it was Vlasic, a higher end like Gallagher coming back this way. That would be amazing. A couple quick questions here. Jack Frost, what's going on with Timo? To me, I think Timo's just lacking confidence big time.
You know what?
He's a goal scorer. He's going to be streaky.
What's going on with everyone?
Right.
Like seriously, we can pick out one guy and say he's not doing this, or pick out that guy and say he's not doing that. And for the most part, yeah, we'd be right. But for apart from Evander Kane, really, Evander Kane's been out there, doing it. He's been getting it done. How many? He's got 8 goals now.
Yeah,
8 goals on the season, and how many games did they play? 14 now.
14.
Yeah, 14. 8 goals in 14 games.
One of my points for our show later that we're recording today is Couture and Timo combined have less goals than Gaudreau.
Yeah.
Gaudreau's outscoring the two of them combined. That shouldn't be happening. Good for Barclay Gaudreau getting those goals. 4 goals on the season. That's impressive for a guy.
Yeah, for him, absolutely.
He's kind of bouncing between the 3rd and the 4th line.
Yeah.
So I think that's incredible for him. But he shouldn't be outscoring those guys, and that needs to change.
Well, and the best part is they know it. Couture and Meyer, they know it.
Couture should have scored another goal, and it deflected off of
Kane's skate.
Yeah. Like that's brutal, and you could tell Kane felt terrible because you want to get your captain off the schneid, right? You want him to get going and get those goal scoring, and he would have scored.
Yeah.
There's no question that puck was going in without him touching it. But them's the breaks, man. So,
even your own team.
The next, Angelo Nunez, should LeBanc be even playing top line minutes still? Yes, because we don't have anyone else.
That's why. That's essentially why. Yes,
if this was last season, no way.
Yeah,
he would have gotten bumped.
Yep, absolutely, 100%. Yeah. But you know what's funny is I could definitely see Marleau staying up, and then Gaudreau playing second line. I could definitely see Gaudreau making a move up the roster and have LeBanc sit right alongside Joe Thornton where he did it all last season. So
Nicholas Egan, this is interesting. Tough season so far for even the Sharks' future, with Shemlevsky and Chekovich being healthy scratches today with the Barracuda.
Really?
Yeah. Now, I don't really have a problem with it. It's not like they're getting cut. It's not like they're not going to be still the future. I think this happens. It happens with LeBanc. It happens with all kinds of guys that are up and coming. Sometimes you kind of things get a little away from you, and you need to see from the press box looking down and see what's going on. It's kind of a kick in the rear. I bet they come back and they perform after that. They're going to come back and play harder because they know that their spot in the lineup is not guaranteed, even in the AHL level.
Yeah, and maybe not the best example, but if you remember Antti Suomela, when he was playing in the NHL and then he got pulled out for a little while, played with the Barracuda a bit, try to find his game, and then he got pulled back in. And Kurz made a point of this too, saying, well, I think it was the right thing because when he came back, he scored a goal, had a couple assists or whatever it was. Now, I say not the best example because shortly after that, he petered out again and then got sent back down indefinitely. So, where he's still down with the Barracuda. But just an example of sometimes a guy just needs to just pull back, take a break, view it from the press box, or play, in Suomela's case, play the slower game before you jump back in, right?
Right.
So, it's a bummer because those two guys that I really liked watching play during the prospects game, during the practices, Barracuda games that I've gone to, they're very talented guys. So if they're being sat, that's unfortunate for them, and it's unfortunate for me because again I liked watching them. So, but Chmielewski is so supremely talented with his hands. It's just there are other things that you need to put together. You can't just be a good stick handler in any league, and that'll be the end of it. So he's got more to work on in his game, and I'm sure they're keeping an eye on that too.
I missed this. Thank you for the $1.99, Jason Hillier. Sharks suck.
I'm gonna do a $1.99 super chat so they have to say it.
Earlier, I meant to highlight this one too. Deuce's shoeless. The Finn factor was Super Mario and Hulk Hogan.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I forgot what the Hulk said.
God, don't do that ever
That was
again.
more of
Macho Man?
Macho Man. Sorry.
Thanks for noticing. It was very subtle.
At Bowed.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, guys, just wanted to say I met Paul's old boss when I was at the game in Toronto.
Oh, Patrick Leciste, I bet.
That's all said.
Cool. Right on, man. That's awesome. Yeah, he's a good dude. Was he wearing the luchador mask at the game?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if that's who you're talking about, I know exactly what you're talking about. So.
Here's an interesting one. Deuce is shoeless. I don't know if you're going to know much about it, but could you see Doug Wilson targeting Jake Allen? I don't know what other goalies are really available. I wouldn't rule that out as a backup, trading Dell, swapping backups basically, because Jake Allen, I feel like, is a decent goaltender who had very big promise to be a starter. And I'm not saying taking a starting role over Martin Jones, but I think he's in that situation that he needs a new place.
Jake Allen does?
Jake Allen does. And then Aaron Dell, kind of the same situation. I think he needs a new thing. I wouldn't mind if they swapped Dell for Allen.
Am I thinking of the same goalie? Because there was two goalies in St. Louis. It was Jake Allen and
Brian Elliott.
Thank you. And neither one of them could
Jake
keep
Allen,
the starting role after a while there.
When Jake Allen was the backup,
Yeah.
he was playing very well to the point where he made Brian Elliott expendable.
Okay.
Then they got rid of him, and he couldn't handle it, and he couldn't do 60-plus starts. You give him 30, 40 games, he's fine.
What's he making? Do you know what
Jake
Jake Allen's
Allen?
making? Okay, here's my problem. I don't really see anything happening in the goaltending position right now. I don't think that's going to change. We heard Pete DeBoer say, "This is our team. There's no cavalry coming," and I think that holds true for the goaltending position. I don't even think their goaltenders have been that bad. And based on what Aaron's the sound he just made, Jake Allen's making way more money than you think.
4.3.
Yep, there you go.
Because he was getting paid starter money. And
nope, not happening.
And that's through another season.
Nope, not happening.
He is younger, though.
Oh, that's great.
He's only
not happening.
He's 29.
Yeah. No. I just don't see it. Again, I don't think our goaltending has been the main problem. I think if you solve the other issues around the goaltending, namely the zone defense, because if you look at the PK, again, I've made this point before, look at our penalty kill. It's the best in the league, 90-something%, whatever it is now, right?
Was.
Well, no, it's 90-point-something%, I believe, isn't it?
I'll have to look it up.
Look up your stats. Okay, There you go. So, but I think we're still best in the league. If we're not, we're still way at the top of the league. So you're telling me that when we're 5-on-5, our goaltender sucks.
Or 89.6.
89.6. When we're on the PK, all of a sudden our goaltender's standing on his head. I have a hard time with that. I think the mentality when you're on the PK is keep the puck outside, protect our zone, protect our house, protect our goalie, right? So if that mentality keeps the puck out of the net, and all of a sudden our goaltenders are doing really well, because if you take a look at their save percentage and goals against average while on the penalty kill, I'm sure it's pretty good because we're keeping everything out. So if they were to have that mentality when they're in their zone on 5-on-5, that protect our house mentality, I don't think that you'd see as many goals going in. I don't think our goalies suck when it's 5-on-5. I don't think they rise to the challenge when they're down a man. I think it's just the system that's around them. And so I don't really feel that the goaltending is the big issue. Now, you can argue that, it's, look at their numbers, right? So, yeah, but goals against average and save percentage do not tell the whole story. Even the high danger chances. Is it a high danger chance where he's made the first save, made the second save, and then the third save went in because no one's clearing out the front of the net? There has to be some context. So that's why I like watching the game and seeing what's going on more so than just looking at the stat and going, his stats are the worst, he must be the worst. Because that's not always the way that it shakes out, right? So I don't know. For me, I don't think the goaltending is the main issue. I think they could definitely be better. And I know Kurz has been saying at some point just make a save. But it's not really fair because at those key moments he needs to make the save. The puck went in. A key save 4 saves ago might have been the one that went in, but he saved it, right? So he might have already made that key save. That's my problem with it. You can't just say oh, he didn't make the save when they needed it. Maybe he did, and then they kept going, and then it went in.
We don't have the cap space for a new goalie.
No, we don't. That's what I'm saying. Goaltending, I just don't see it changing. Goaltending is not going to change.
All right, Nicholas Egan, are you still confident in your guarantee that the Sharks make playoffs, Aaron? Money Puck gives the Sharks an 18.4% chance right now. Yeah, because they put together a 5-game win streak or something, a 6-game win streak. All of a sudden, they're right back in the thick of it, and they start beating teams that are ahead of them. Their percentage, that 18.4 is going to change.
Yeah.
Obviously. It's so fluid throughout the season. I'm still not, I don't want to say I'm not worried, because I am a little worried, but I'm still confident that they're going to make playoffs. Yeah. I am.
Yeah, I mean the whole 18.4% thing. That's what it looks like right now, right?
Yeah.
It's not like it's saying like it's the roll of a dice. You'll always have 1/6 of a chance to get one of those numbers. That's always what it's going to be, right? It's not like that. They're saying based on what we see right now, this is the percent chance. But the thing that you see right now can drastically change. Remember, other teams are overachieving right now. They can hit the basement at any time. There's a lot of teams that are underachieving right now, and they can rise up at any time. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of teams that have really super awesome star players that are probably going to get injured. John Gibson. But it's, that changes everything. Okay, with Anaheim, if John Gibson gets hurt right now, which I'm not saying it's going to happen, I'm not predicting it.
It's going to happen.
You heard it from him, not from me. I'm not responsible.
Anaheim's down.
If he goes down, do you think Anaheim stays where they are?
No.
If he doesn't go down, do you think Anaheim stays where they are?
No, they're still going to go down.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Anaheim is one of these teams that's overachieving right now. They're going to come down anyway. And if something happens to one of their players, they're going to go down even harder. So, I don't know. I don't look at those percentage things that, this is what if they're going to make playoffs or not. That's cute and everything, but I don't buy into that really. So, I don't know. I just rather just see how the season plays out. Again, once we get to that 20-game mark, hopefully we've got a little bit of a win streak going. There's nothing pointing at it saying that that's going to happen, unfortunately. But I do think, again, that we have the right ingredients on this team to still be a playoff team. I would love to see maybe a little move to get one more right winger in there who's an NHL caliber right winger, not necessarily a top 6 even, like a top 9 guy, right? Just to get a little bit more of a veteran presence in there on the right wing. Somebody who maybe Pete DeWard can put some trust in. Maybe somebody he's played with or he's coached before, from New Jersey days or whatever. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But I still feel like this team can be a playoff team. There's nothing.
Yeah. There's a lot of talk about Brian Elliott coming, and I don't see it because Carter Hart is the starter, kind of the starter in Philly. He's not ready. He's too young. And it shows because he's been pulled in 2 of his last 3 games, I think. So Brian Elliott's still playing there. It's a 1A, 1B pretty much situation, and will be. They're just going to play the hot hand. But Carter Hart's not ready. They're not going to trade away Elliott. So enough of that. Yeah. Have you heard about this? This is kind of different subject now. Casa de Pescado. Guys, can you speak of the 9 games in November for a $150 deal? Have you seen that? My friend was just talking to me about it earlier.
I'm sorry, 9 games in what?
you can get 9 Sharks games for $150. Why do they do this? It's incredible but fishy. So the deal is, when you pay $150, the day of the game, you don't know where your seats are. They're different all the time.
Okay.
When you get within 2 miles of the arena, your tickets pop up, so you can't resell them. So it's cheap. It's cheap, but it's meant for people who want to go to a game, get them into a seat. You don't know where you're sitting until, I think it's even 2 hours before the game, and you have to be within 2 miles of the stadium radius.
Yeah.
And then your app turns on with your ticket, so you know where you are. So basically what they're doing is they're taking all the seats that they couldn't sell and giving them to these people. So you could have a really nice seat. You have no idea where it's going to be. Yeah. I think it's incredible. I think it's very creative in a way to get people to come in the seats, and a different way to get a different, probably demographic. That's definitely catered towards younger people that don't have kids and have more flexibility and, you know, the good old days.
Go early and enjoy the food.
Go early and enjoy the food. There you go.
Actually, and that's one of the things they wanted to do was they wanted to bolster up their food, their menu. And they've definitely done that.
Make it a place to hang out, not just for the game, right?
They want it to be a destination for people to go and eat and be in their seats before the puck actually drops, right? So there's...
I think it's great. I think it's creative. I think it's it's a little... Yeah, creative is the best way I can think about it. But it's also limited. Like, they're not selling 5,000 of these tickets thing. There's only a couple hundred available.
You say creative, and I agree with you. I think some people might say desperate.
I understand as a business point, right? You have to figure out that price point for your seats, right? Yeah. You're never going to sell out. If you're selling out, you're not charging enough money.
Okay.
So they want to get that premium kind of deal for money involved, right? And then you're always going to have left over. So sell some of that off for cheap. Yeah. So at least fill it up, and you're selling. It's better to get $20 a seat than $0 a seat. Yeah. So I understand what they're trying to do. I just think it's cool.
I just take a look at the amount of empty seats most recently, and you've seen people on Twitter saying it too.
Well, you put a good product on the ice.
Yeah.
That's part of it.
But that's what I mean. There's no good product on the ice. We'll come up with this deal.
You know what's going to be empty this year? The Warriors' new stadium.
Oh, I don't want to talk about
I'm just saying, like, they used to sell it all the time. Now it's too expensive. Yeah. Curry got hurt. Yeah. Klay Thompson's out all season.
Everyone's hurt.
Like, they're awful. They're going to be terrible.
Yes.
So you're going to see the same. My point is, you're going to see the same thing there. It's going to be a bad product.
Right.
It's too expensive. They're going to have a lot of empty seats, even though it's a new arena. Nice. Right. It's the same kind of thing. So, yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
Moving on.
You're so behind now.
I know. Jeez. Sorry. I was talking too much. A lot of goalie talk. Sorry, a lot of goalie talk.
No.
Sometimes, whether it's a goalie, D-man, or Pete DeBoer, someone will get the blame to kick everyone else into gear. Sometimes you need a scapegoat. That's fair. And I just jumped. 49er Empire. Man, I haven't been here in a cool minute. I missed you guys. Missed you too. Thanks. We do have 62 people on here now.
Wow.
So the comments are flying. Now we got dead space. How about we do this? Tell us where you're watching, how you found us. Roll call. Do that, then I can catch up a little bit.
I'll catch up as things scroll.
Again, 49ers Empire. Man, I've been busy. When did you guys grow mustaches? Not bad. This is new.
Yeah.
Like Movember. So we're doing a fundraiser for Movember. The actual official Movember fundraiser.
I don't think I've actually signed up on that page yet.
You're signed up. Yeah, because you're using our email address, like our show email address.
Okay.
So I had already linked it up for the team page.
Gotcha.
So I have my own profile. Paul's going to have his own. He's going to.
If I recall from last season, was it mobro.co?
Yes.
I'm going to go to mobro.co right now.
So we'll be sending out the links probably in our show that we're going to be recording tonight. So if you'd like to make a donation, it'd be great. In fact, what I would like to do is there's no minimum donation. So what I would like is
for everyone to give $1 million.
Well, no. Whoever has the most, like, put some comments in there. You can put a comment on there, right? Donate $1 and just come up with a very funny, family-friendly, funny comment about our mustaches, and we'll post them on our show next week.
That's a great idea. I like that. Oh boy.
Someone's gonna screenshot that. God, that's terrible.
Don't do that.
Yeah. Anyway, do that later.
No, no, talk. Hey, go ahead.
Paul, you
Yes?
ready? You
No.
ready? Here it comes.
I'm ready. I'll look like a villain. Like a, what's it called? Clue. Like a villain from Clue.
Okay, let's talk about this. There's a lot of talk about the officiating.
Okay.
And goals getting called back. And conspiracy theory because going back to the Vegas game where the refs gave the Sharks the game. You know where I'm going with this, right?
Okay.
No. Stop it. There is no conspiracy. The referees don't care if the Sharks win or lose. They don't care if the other teams win or lose. The Sharks aren't mocking or making, they're not getting one up on the refs from that one game, from that one penalty call. It's ridiculous. This is what happens when you're on a big losing streak and you get a goal called against you. Everyone in the world is against you, including the refs. It's not true. To me, the refs are just very unbiased. If they were biased, they wouldn't be referees. They wouldn't be in the league. There's no betting. There's no, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing that's...
No, you're right. There's no... Yeah, look, if your team's losing and the refs are against them, it's because your team is doing stupid things, trying to get themselves back into the game. We've seen this before. Right.
Let's talk about the LeBanc goal that got called back.
Okay, let's talk
or not the LeBanc, the Kane goal that got called back because
Okay.
LeBanc pushed his pad in. Did you get to see the replay
Yes,
at all?
I did.
Because you were there. You were at the game.
I was not at that game.
Oh, you were at the other game.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But honestly, you have an advantage when you're not at the game.
Right, because you get 20
you get
angles.
to see all the angles. You get the analysts talking about it. You get so you're actually at an advantage when you're not at the game.
I was okay with that goal getting called back
So
because LeBanc shoved his stick and pushed the pad in. The puck was loose, correct. Yeah. If he just got his stick on the pad a little bit and pulled the puck back and then Kane shot it, goal, no problem.
Yeah.
But because he pushed his pad in, the way I think about it, if this was going against the Sharks, would you want that goal to be called a goal or called back for what they did, right?
Well, anytime it goes in, I want it called back. It doesn't matter if there's a goalie interference or not. I just want it called back.
I'm just saying, I'd want it to be fair.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree with you. I think that, looking at the play, his stick hit, goalie's pad and shoved it in a little bit there. Now, was it weak? Yeah, it was weak, but you know what? That's by the letter of the law. That's what they call it. So I don't have a problem with that one getting called back. It's unfortunate. I don't think him pushing the pad really would have changed the outcome there. I don't think that goalie's making that save anyway. But it's, again, by the letter of the law, that's where they're gonna disallow that goal. So I was okay with it. Now I don't think that the referees were like, you know what we got to do? We got to screw the San Jose Sharks out of a goal here, right?
You know what's gonna happen if we take this goal back? The other team's gonna score 20 seconds later and it's gonna completely change the game.
No. Usually, and especially with penalties, right? When there's a tripping call or whatever. Yeah, sometimes the refs just see something that looks worse than it was, or a guy dove and he didn't quite catch that he dove, and so he thinks that there was something else going on there, or a slash, or the guy just literally lets go of his stick. That kind of upsets me when you have like a slash, if the stick doesn't break, but the guy's just not holding onto his stick and it just falls out of his hands. It's like, hold your stick, dude. But stuff like that. It's usually just your team is trying to do too much to get themselves back into the game, and so they're kind of chasing. If they get beat, by a step, they do something stupid, trying to get it themselves, back in that play, and the refs will call it, and that's just all there is to it. So I don't think that there's any sort of conspiracy. It really doesn't make sense. And I bet you anything, you go around every single other fan base's, HF boards or whatever it is that they use, Reddit, and you take a look at what their fans say. The refs are against us. It doesn't matter which team you are. The refs are against us.
No fans go, wow, I'm glad the refs are on our side.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Nobody. So it evens out in the end.
It's not unique to San Jose. Let's put it that way.
It's exemplified because of their losing streak right now. Everything is frustrating.
Everyone feels hosed.
Right.
Yeah.
It is frustrating. I mean, Kane's frustrated because he would have scored a goal.
Yeah.
LeBanc's probably frustrated because he's like, man, I shouldn't have pushed his pad in as hard as I did. It's just, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of the same questions
Okay.
here. Nicholas Egan, I believe that the seat selling and everything else, including team confidence, can be cured by winning just like anything else in sports. Yes. Thank you, Sharks fan 27 for the $4.99. Will you guys like to see another stadium game? Where and versus what team? I was just reading about this, that the Sharks were kind of due for a stadium game because they've only had one, and they're one of the few teams that have only had one. I went to that game, and I went to it because it was the Sharks' first stadium game. It was at Levi's. I remember like when I got to buy, I actually had season tickets that season, so I had early access to buy seats, and I was like, I'm not going to spend a lot of money to sit down low because you can't see anything anywhere you're going to be. So I bought the cheapest seats up high.
Yeah.
And it was great because you got a huge view, a beautiful view of the sunset and everything. We got there early. We did a tailgate like it was a football game. It was like a whole experience, so much different than going to a Sharks game. The game was terrible. They played against the Kings. They lost 2-1. It was boring. You couldn't see the puck. You couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
It was like, this is terrible. So I don't know if I'd actually go to a game. Maybe watch it on TV. It'd be kind of cool. But I don't know. I think it would be. I wouldn't be surprised if they somehow host one in Vegas. If they could figure out how to make the ice work outside.
Yeah.
But I don't know where they would do a stadium though. The only stadium there really, maybe the new Raiders stadium.
Yeah.
Maybe they would do that next season. Once that's done. But who would I like to see them play? I wouldn't mind if they waited another 2 seasons and they'd played the Seattle game up in Seattle. I could see that being done at the Seahawks Stadium. Sharks versus the Seattle team.
It's kind of weird to give Seattle an outdoor game right away, though.
You want to get them on the radar of the NHL community to kind of give them a fighting chance of new fans joining. Who knows?
They didn't do that with Vegas, though.
Again, this is a stadium series, not the Outdoor Winter Classic.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah.
Because they just played a stadium series this week. It was Calgary and Winnipeg, or I forget who it was.
What if it rained during the game in Seattle?
Problem is rain. They can handle warm weather. Rain, they can't do anything. It would melt the ice. That's the problem.
Big slushy.
But, I don't know.
It
Maybe
snowed
Seattle
in like the first one, the Buffalo, Pittsburgh.
Snow's not a problem either.
Yeah.
Rain is the only thing that was. They could deal with temperatures up into the 70s. So I mean, you could technically do a game in LA. It would work.
Yeah.
I think they have done one.
They've done it in LA. Yeah.
So the temperature part's not the problem. It's the rain.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, who would you like to see?
I honestly don't care. Honestly, no matter who you played against, as the San Jose Sharks, would I go to the game? Probably yes. It's for me. It's the experience. It doesn't happen often, so that's why when I went to the first one that they're the only one that they had, I thought it was cool. The outcome wasn't what we were looking for. The game was fairly boring, if I recall, and I also was sitting higher up because I definitely wanted to have like a view of the whole thing, right? But honestly, to me, it doesn't really matter. It's nice when you've got kind of like that rivalry. Like when we had with LA there, right? We played against LA. It'd be cool to have whatever rivalry we have. If it's like Vegas, I'm just tired of Vegas, to be honest with you. They're just sick of them. But to me, it really doesn't matter. I really don't. It could be the Coyotes. I'd be happy to watch play. It's not about who they're playing for me. It's about the experience. And being able to go and do something that's unique, go and playing in an outdoor setting is a unique thing.
It's cool. It's different, and you're on the national stage because they're going to nationally broadcast.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
you get a little bit more recognition.
The other thing that was cool about it actually was they had a bunch of guys that were beer leaguers, and we basically played like pickup game. They have for a couple nights they kept that rink open and available, and if for $20 or whatever, you could be one of the players on like a team, and they had like a pickup game basically between the guys that paid, and so it was cool. I got to go out there and actually skate on that ice and play a game out there. It was just a lot of fun. So again, it's the experience. I don't really care who you play.
If the Sharks, this is from Nicholas Egan, if the Sharks go on a winning streak or win a bunch of games in November, will you keep the mustaches and Fu Manchu?
Wait, if they go on a winning streak in November?
This month. Well, we're keeping this for the whole month, by the way.
Yes, we're keeping
December 1st, my wife will physically shave this off my face. She hates it.
I will shave this off my face come November.
She will pin me down and shave it on probably midnight of November 30th. Like, just get this off your face.
She's just like waiting. Like, as soon as that flips.
Yeah.
No, I I want this off. I don't.
He
I don't
actually
like the way
just
this
shaved before we went live.
I did.
That's why we were late, because he was still shaving.
That's not why we were late. But yes, I was just shaving right before this because I had the full beard and everything going. I basically grew the whole thing out, and then for the show I was going to take everything else off, and so this is what you have. But yeah, no, if they go on a winning streak through November, that's great. I hope that winning streak continues into December and January, and I will not have this thing on my lip when they do that. So yeah. Superstitious about a few things. This is not going to help the team win, so I'm not worried about it. Go right ahead.
The Calgary game was the Heritage Classic, and the 2020 Stadium Series is in Colorado.
Okay.
So the Heritage Classic, I forgot they were wearing their old school jerseys, which the Calgary, it was the Jets. It was Jets in Calgary, and they were wearing their old school. The Jets old school logo is one of my favorite ones. I think it's awesome. I really like the old school Calgary jerseys that are more red and yellow.
Red, white, and yellow, yeah.
Yeah.
As opposed to red, black, and
yeah. I just think they're classy heritage jerseys. I think they just look really cool.
Nice.
I like when the Sharks did a remake of these 2 years ago, I think it was.
Yeah.
It was a darker teal than their original one, and I thought it looked really sharp, and they had the old logo. I think they had the old logo
They had
on
the
it.
old logo.
Yeah. I thought it was classy looking.
If I recall, I think they might have updated the colors just a bit, but they did use the old logo.
Yeah, it was the darker.
Well, I mean the logo itself. I think they
yeah.
might have updated the color on the logo just a little bit, but I could be wrong on that. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys.
I need to get me one of those because I really like it.
Those are cool.
Yeah. That'd be cool though if they brought this jersey back for like a couple games, not for the season or anything. But
Could I bring up one?
Go ahead.
They want to know what happened to Jumbo for the unsportsmanlike penalty. We did have someone report that in the channel to quote what Jumbo said, but you can't cuss on YouTube, so we can't show.
Blocked.
Yeah, we can't show that comment. YouTube blocked it.
I actually don't even know the actual words that Jumbo said, so I would be very interested to know what that comment is.
Okay, it was directed at one of the officials.
Yeah, obviously,
and
yeah.
it was a very graphic
pull out
description.
Something and hit him in the face with it.
Okay, Aaron.
Oh. Pull out
his towel.
kneecap. Pull out his okay.
Right.
Yeah. So upon saying
And that will do it these days?
yeah.
For
That's,
us.
that's he hurt his feelings. 2 minutes for hurting his feelings. That's what,
He was
what
in
happened.
the player box, right? When he said that?
Yeah, he was
a bench
on the
penalty.
bench. He was on the bench when
So if he was on the ice, would the linesman have tackled him? Too soon.
Nice. No, not too soon. That's please. That's good. It's fine. No.
Who would win?
Yeah, no. Basically, that's maybe not the smartest thing to say to a ref, but essentially he got the penalty for hurting the ref's feelings. Yep.
Yeah, it's abuse of the officials. That's
not unless he does it.
I didn't mean
hits him
physical
with
abuse.
his stick. Right. That's what we were talking about. Throws his helmet at him.
Bone Thug 1-408 or 1408. Shell tonight.
Shell? Oh, Chell.
Chell. Sorry. Chell.
No, Chell.
Whatever.
Yeah. Chell tonight. Yeah.
Probably not for me. It'll be too late.
Maybe.
That's your new slang for AESHL? What is
EASHL.
it? EASHL?
That's like in the game. It's called. The league is called CHEL, right?
EASHL, the EA Sports Hockey League. That is the club.
Right.
Right. So Chell is just like World of Chell, like NHL. Chell.
Oh, that's terrible.
No,
I thought it was an acronym.
No,
I didn't even pay attention, and I play the game.
Regardless, so that's the game mode is Chell, and inside of that game mode you have EASHL.
Also, a public service announcement: don't promote other YouTube channels. YouTube also automatically blocks that.
Yeah.
So
why would you
be
promote other
mindful.
YouTube channels?
Someone's in there just
Come on, guys.
constantly.
Yeah, it's treated as spam by YouTube.
Sharks 15-16 Heritage jersey was an absolute beaut with the darker teal. I forget. I always forget this. Charizard.
I don't know.
Paul looks like the actor from Training Day with that mustache.
Ethan Hawke?
No, he didn't have a mustache.
Is it Ethan Hawke?
No, it was some other cop guy.
I don't know. It was Denzel Washington.
Yeah, I know.
Denzel.
Was it the minor?
Do I look like Denzel? Is that what you're saying?
No, you do not look like Denzel.
Because I'd be happy with that. Cool with that. No worries.
Thornton was upset over the missed calls, especially the no call on Couture when he could have had a breakaway. Yeah, I mean, again, there's no conspiracy with the refs, but when you're losing and you need every little chance to work in your favor, and it's not, it's frustration. This is frustration coming out.
It was 5-1 at that point.
Right. And they scored with 20 seconds left to make it 5-2.
Yeah,
big deal. But it's just this. What a quote I did here, because I was going through the post game quotes for our show for later.
Yeah.
Timo Meyer is the one that came out and said, it's a really terrible time right now, but if we push through this, then we're going to be able to build on this and get past it, and it's adversity, and they have to deal with it and work their way through it. So if and when they do get through it, I think the Sharks are going to be a lot stronger of a team, and I'm also glad that this is happening now and not in March.
Let's not forget. How did last regular season end?
Terribly, like this.
Was it like 14 losses or something?
Not as bad. It wasn't as bad where they were getting super outplayed. They were just kind of coasting in a way. It was different. Because right now they're working hard. Some of the games they're working hard trying to get through it.
Yeah.
Then they were just kind of coasting, going, we're in the playoffs. It doesn't matter. Our seeding doesn't matter. We're just playing to not get hurt. That's what I felt like.
From a points perspective, if you're able to give up that many games worth of points at the end of the season, then I don't think you have as much to worry about if you're doing it at the beginning of the season, so long as you get yourself back on track. Because then imagine if they hadn't lost that many games in a row at the end of the last season, right? I mean, the amount of points accumulated, they would have been much higher in the standings.
Yep.
Not that they cared about the standings. But I'm saying for this season, we take a look at our record, it's down in the dumps. But if they don't end this season the way that they ended last season, accumulate those points as the wins and whatnot, and throw those back into our bucket, they look like a playoff team to me. They still do. On paper. Now, on the ice, the product that you see on the ice, they don't look like anything. They don't look like they could beat the 6U teams.
They're not a cohesive unit yet.
Yeah.
They're still not quite all on the same page. That's what it feels like. Burns said this in some of his post-game stuff, that it's not one thing. There's some bad mistakes. So in the beginning it was turnovers. They fixed that, then it's another problem. They're poking holes into a leaking boat, right? And trying to plug up as many as they can because another one pops open. So once they get all of that plugged and figured out, this team is going to be strong as we think it's going to be. The game that I saw, the game against Winnipeg, the way they played, that was definitely the best effort, the best game that they've played as a team. Obviously, they didn't get the win, but just the way that they were flying all over the ice, they were all over Winnipeg. They were in their zone more. They were just aggressive, and it was working. Other than the goal scoring, once they get that goal scoring going, man, the floodgates are going to open. Timo Meyer is still, I think, going to be close to a 30 goal scorer. I think it's just going to come in bunches. Once the floodgates open, Couture is probably going to get at least 25.
And Hurdle's only got a handful of goals too, right?
Yeah,
I think he's only got like 3.
Hurdle's got 4. 4 goals and 8 assists. He's got 12 points.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
He's doing all right.
Yeah. But in terms of goal scoring and whatnot, I mean, unless you believe Couture is all of a sudden that bad, unless you believe Timo Meyer is all of a sudden that bad, which I just don't believe, then it's unfortunate, but they're kind of all stuck in this rut right now. So again, that for me is the optimistic view of it, right? Okay, if they're this bad right now, it's not like, this is as good as they can play. They can play a lot better than this. So they're in the red right now, right? The idea is if they can just get back to being on par again, they'll be cohesively, or as a group, they'll be a much better group. And then, when you talk about they're underachieving right now, if they can get to a point where they start overachieving, whenever that may be, then yes, this team is going to look really, really good again. But it's just, again, getting out of that rut, getting out of the funk that they're in, and they can get back to just baseline, because they're not there. This is not the baseline. This is not what this team is capable of. They're certainly capable of more, and we've seen it. But right now it's really hard going, And they're going to be hearing it from the coach. They're going to be hearing it from the captain. They're going to be hearing it from just everybody else inside of that locker room. And hopefully they're helping each other through this as best they can. The effort, like Aaron said, the effort's there. They're putting in the effort. Sometimes, it's you're just trying so hard to do the right thing, and it ends up screwing you up even more because you're gripping your stick too tight, or you're overthinking it.
You don't want to make any mistakes.
You feel like you have to try to do everything yourself. I'm sure Erik Karlsson's out there going, well, we're in a rut. I got to try to do everything myself, and so he's trying to make these, out of character passes for what a normal pass. A safe pass would be, and he's trying to do these long bomb stretch passes or whatever the case is, and it's just not working when you're trying to do more than what you're really supposed to be doing. I think they need to just take a step back, calm down, reevaluate their game, and say, okay, let's just stick to the game plan. Don't worry about the goals, don't worry about the standings. Just play the game that we know that we're set out to play. Stick to the plan that Coach Pete DeBoer has put together. Don't try to go outside of that. And just play it. And, I think they'll end up doing a fairly decent job if they stop gripping their sticks so tight and worrying about everything that's happening. And it's hard to say. It's easy to say that. It's hard to actually do when you're out there and you're getting pummeled. And you're like, we're down by a goal. Gosh, if I just made this really good stretch pass, I didn't picked it. Right? So
problem is when you're a high-skilled player and you want to be creative, right? You don't want to do the same boring, systematic plays. But when you're losing and you're gripping your stick tighter, you start making those creative plays and it turns into a turnover.
Yeah.
Right? Now you're double thinking that, and that extra split second to go, should I do that or not? Then you mess up the pass. Then it's a turnover. Confidence is even it's a snowball effect. Like it just gets worse and worse and worse, and that's where they're at right now. So they need to kind of unwind that snowball and get back to the basics for a little bit, get some wins in the win column, get some points up on the board, and then start being creative again.
Yeah, and for me, that all starts in the defensive zone. And I think last season, Couture said the same thing, right? When they were stuck in the same sort of rut where they just couldn't seem to get a win. He had said, it starts in our end. I know it doesn't sound like it, but when you play good defensively, you're going to get your offensive chances, and that's because possession. When you're playing good in your own zone and you're not allowing the other team to have the puck, when they have to just make an errant pass, when they're gripping their sticks too tight because you're pressuring them, right? When your goalie makes that save and instead of the rebound popping out and someone jumps on top of it, if your guys are clearing the puck out, getting possession of the puck back again, that helps you move the puck back up the ice to go on offense, right? So instead of trying to force the offense to happen because you're down a goal, play solid defensively and you will get the puck back. Right, and the offense will take care of itself because they have enough guns. They really do. They have enough talent offensively. Even from the blue line, they have enough talent offensively to be a threat in the other zone. It's just a matter of you have to play solid defense to get that puck back. If you can't do that, it doesn't matter how many good players you have because you don't have the puck. So that's where they need to work on, in my opinion. Again, we talked a lot about goalies being traded and everything else. I don't think the goalies are the main issue here.
No.
And yes, we do have some rookies, and that hurts. But I think we've got enough firepower that we should be able to string this together and play some game and win some games. They just need to focus back on their game and take care of their zone.
I'm afraid that people think that Šimek is going to be the savior here once he comes back.
He will be.
I don't think he will be. I don't think it's going to be a switch, like a magic switch where all of a sudden, Šimek is back. We have our all-star defenseman who only played 41 games, right? He's going to help.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be like the Sharks are all of a sudden going to go on a tear when he comes back.
And the funny thing is, you say he's going to help. We think he's going to help. We don't know if he's going to be the same Šimek as last season.
Well,
right?
He couldn't hurt the team any more than they are. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Taking Heat out and putting him in.
Yeah.
Even having Ferraro and him, two lefties on the same defensive pairing.
Yeah.
Like I still think that's better.
But you know what? The other thing was, somebody saying a trade, shake things up. It's not a trade and it's not shaking anything up, but you are inserting a new player into that lineup. And I'm saying new with quotes, but you're inserting a new player back into that lineup. Mm-hmm. Maybe that is a bit of a defensive shakeup because he can play with Burns. That's a top pair, right?
Right.
So maybe that's kind of like shaking it up a bit there, right?
And moves Vlasic off that.
Exactly.
Pairing.
So and maybe Vlasic, maybe that's what he needs right now. Maybe he needs.
Ferraro started with Burns last game.
Yeah.
He was announced as the starting pair, which I thought was great.
Yeah. But my point is, Šimić being pulled back into the team, it's almost like you're making a trade because you're getting this guy that, is basically being inserted into your top pair, and that kind of maybe rearranges other things, on the defensive pairing side. Maybe that is the shakeup that this team does need. He might not be the catalyst, he might not be the savior, but that move, getting him back in, might be enough to help the team kind of reorganize and rethink the way that they play and play better. Who knows?
Yeah.
So,
but again, I don't think it's going to be a switch automatic.
Yeah, maybe not.
I still think it's going to take him time
Sure.
to get used to the speed again. Even though he is playing in the Barracuda right now,
Sure.
It's still different from AHL to NHL. So I think he's going to have a little bit of growing pains, unfortunately, because I want him to succeed. I want him to do well. All right, let's wrap this up here. Another minute or so. Deuce's Shoeless. Do you think Pete pulling a line blender night after night is affecting chemistry? It's hard to build that up when you have a new line mate every game. I don't think so, because these guys practice with each other all the time anyway. They know each other. It's not like, here's a rookie that I've never played with. I don't know where he's going to be on the ice kind of thing.
Well, okay, so they practice with each other, but they have the same lines like they're going to use in a game.
Right, but they usually practice at least before a game. They don't just... I mean, he blends them during the game sometimes too. We talked about this last season. I remember when the Sharks were not doing so well.
Yeah.
Like practically the same question. I like the fact that he blends up the lines during the regular season, because when somebody gets hurt in the playoffs and you have a line that's clicking and one of those guys goes down, you got to change the lines. At least you have some sort of chemistry and know-how with those guys. So I don't mind the blending as much.
Well, and remember, all these guys know the system, or should know the system.
Right.
So, they kind of all know where to be and what to expect. Now, playing with one player versus another, maybe the way that they think is a little bit different, and the type of play that they're capable of making is different, and the way that they're able to protect the puck. Maybe you trust a guy a little bit more coming out of the corner with the puck versus, getting stuck in a board battle and maybe losing it, right? So I think those guys have a good understanding of what each other are capable of, and maybe they get used to that. But in terms of where to be on the ice, they are all following the same system. So they should know where to be. Now, there was a case where somebody didn't know where he was supposed to be, and for all the people that said Coach Pete DeBoer is too calm on the bench, too calm. No, he lit this fool up.
On the bench during games, yes.
Yeah, in the spotlight, different story,
right.
But in the practice, he lit this fool up. I'll teach, you've been here long enough, I'll teach the young guys if you're not going to do it. So, he got upset. I think we have one more, right?
Thanks, Sharks fan 27, another $4.99. During the game yesterday, a fan tried to go over the glass. Did anyone else see that?
I did.
You saw?
I did. So I'm in section 104, and I believe he was hopping over 114.
Okay. Jason, you saw it too, I think.
No, I was in the PW club.
So I'm basically where I'm sitting is, if you were to look at the opposing goaltender in the first and third periods, from his right shoulder, like straight across his shoulders, essentially, that's where I'm looking. So all I had to do is look up a little bit and to my right, just a bit, and I can see that guy going over. My wife actually saw it, and she like nudged me like, "What is going on?" I look up, and this dude is literally, he's climbed up the glass. He's got a leg over the glass, one arm over the glass, and he turns like he's posing like, "Hey." I'm like, "You're about to get thrown out of this arena." So
he's doing it
and
for
arrested.
he was basically getting a pick.
That's it. He wasn't trying to get over the boards.
I don't think, because he stopped, he looked back, and he was holding it there.
Doing it for the gram, man. That's what he's doing.
So
Stupid.
One of the blue coats. Actually, I know this blue coat, Carol. She was like, "Get down!" And some other guy came running over there, and they were like, "Yeah, you got to come down." The referee skated over there on the other side of the, on the ice, obviously, and he was like, "Dude, you better get over." The guy hops over. I think probably inebriated, but cops come and grab him, take him out. Yeah, so take him out. Sorry, they escorted him out. They didn't take him out. That sounds bad. But no, they escorted him out, and I'm pretty sure he's not going to be welcome back anytime soon.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there's like a picture, a video of it. That's somebody we asked about, or I said something about it on Twitter. I said somebody just tried to hop the glass. If you could find that tweet where I said somebody's trying to hop the glass, go
You see
down
the
the
video.
comment chain because there is a video of it happening. So find that tweet, hit the like button, and then check out the comments that are in there. And it's down there somewhere. Somebody posted it, said I solved this for you, I think, and then they have the video. So there you go. Anything else?
Just gonna plug our merch.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I'll get the link going.
So he's gonna put the link in
direct.
the chat right there for you.
Goes
So
right to the collection, so you don't have to hit the little 3 lines.
Just have to hit that link then. Very good. So if you go there, go ahead and check out our shirts. They are gray, which is the one that's over there. We also have it in teal and black. We also have the black women's deep V cut. We also have stickers and hats, and everything that you purchase goes towards us making the show what it is, and it helps us with our move. And also, we have a coupon code for free shipping.
Patty, P-A-T-T-Y.
P-A-T-T-Y. That will give you free shipping anywhere in the U.S. So it doesn't matter if you buy a sticker pack or if you buy 3 shirts, 25 hats. It's just, Patty, you'll get free shipping. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, thank you for the super chat money. If you'd like something back, you can buy something. And that helps us out. And
That
helps
is
you
true.
Out.
So the $4.99 super chats, those we really appreciate. The stickers coincidentally cost, I think it's $5 for 3, right?
$5 for 3.
It's $5. So you could have bought a sticker pack right there. But either way, we do appreciate you helping out the show. It does mean a lot to us. Next time around, feel free to maybe pick up a hat or something like that. I didn't happen to see that one kid. I don't know if you caught it.
Also, if you see us at a game
No,
or
we
around or anything, no, I did not. Sorry.
Okay.
We usually have stickers on us
Sometimes.
most of the time. So feel free to say hi. We don't bite, and we love to take pictures of our fans, which we do occasionally, and we'll post them up on our Instagram.
There you go.
All for the gram.
All for the gram. All right, sounds good. So we're gonna go ahead and get off to
Especially with
recording.
these marvelous mustaches that we got
You look
going
like
on
that.
right
What's his name? Sabretooth from the Wolverine
Ooh,
movie.
I like
that's what
that.
you look like.
I
So
like
maybe Aaron
that.
does bite, but I do not bite. So, oh boy, there. Oh no. Oh, please stop. It burns my eyes. Okay, so we're going to get to recording episode number 62 right about now. So, again, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and thank you guys for all of the support. We really do appreciate it. Please make sure that you let your friends know about us so that they can subscribe, become part of the chat as well. We had 60-something people on it once, you said? Yeah, I mean, that's just awesome. On a week like this week, where the Sharks can't pull out a win to save their lives, and we still got guys coming in and checking out the show, chatting with us and talking, and we just love it. Thank you guys so much for that. We love the community that we've all kind of built together. So with that, for Super Producer Jason, I'm Paul.
And I am Aaron.
And we will see you guys
later this week.
later this week. Bye-bye.